Friday, April 24th. Yes, made it another day. Yeah, though it's so dry. So we're gonna be pretty soon. We're gonna be doing a midnight Financial Fitness Friday, midnight version. Oh, after dark. Financial Fitness Friday after dark. I like that. That got a ring to it. So today, we got a fantastic session as I always do. This session is very timely. It's very timely when I think about it because we're living in a time. Let me try to get all the eyes here. We're living in a time where everybody is going at something. Everybody is trying to do something. They're trying to become something. And one would hope and one would think that regardless of what it is that you're trying to do, that you are trying to be successful at it. But at the same time, we have this contrast between success and what we call failure. And there's a wall in between. One side is success, one side is failure. And one would wonder what make up the difference between the two. I even have, speaking to tonight's session, an even in-depth type of query. Fear of failure. What makes a person have the fear of failure? Well, we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about that because I think that this is a very important topic to dissect the mindset behind success versus failure and fear and the fear factor. So let's just jump right into it. Because there comes a moment in life, quiet, almost invisible, where we find ourselves standing at the edge of something greater. Not because we lack the ability, not because the opportunities isn't real, but because something within us always seems to hesitate. We often call it fear, but what kind of fear is it? And is it really fear? Is it fear of failing? Fear of falling short? Fear of being judged? Fear of not measuring up? Or is it something deeper, more subtle, more elusive? Is it the fear of succeeding, of becoming someone new, of carrying more responsibilities, of stepping into a life that demands more of us, more than we ever have to give before? I'm not sure if everybody's ready for this one. because we will explore the silent tug of war within. Fear of success versus fear of failure. That's tonight's segment. And Financial Fitness Friday with D.E. Wilder. That's just me. Financial Fitness Friday for financial fitness for your future. Let's get going. My mouth is a little dry, but we're going to get through this. Let's get started. Understanding the foundation of fear. Fear of failure and fear as a familiar enemy. Fear of failure is visible. It's recognizable. For some people, almost expected. It says, what if I'm not good enough? What if I try and I fail? I fall short. I fall flat. What will people think of me? That's fear that we put in our mind. This fear is rooted in past disappointments, social conditioning, external validation, perfectionism, just to name a few. It thrives on the avoidance within you. Behavioral signs show up as procrastination, over preparation, but never really feeling that you're ready. Playing small, playing safe, avoiding risks. Fear of failure protects the ego, but at the cost of progress and progression. Now, on the other side, fear of success is a hidden barrier. Now, this is quiet. They call it stealth. It doesn't scream, rather it whispers. It says, what happens if I actually make it? Will people treat me differently? Can I handle the pressure? Will I lose myself? Will I lose control? Fear of success is rooted in identity shifts, responsibility, visibility, fear of outgrowing environments or relationships. It actually thrives on self-sabotage. Behavioral signs show up as starting strong, then pulling back. Missing opportunities at the last moment. Underpricing your true worth. And in true form of self-sabotage, creating unnecessary distractions for yourself. Fear of success doesn't stop. It doesn't stop you from starting. It's even worse. It stops you from finishing. I can hear my echo for some reason. The psychological framework in 4 stages. Let's go through these 4 stages. 1, identity and self-concept. Fear of failure say, I'm not enough. While fear of success says, what if I become someone I do not even recognize? What if I become someone I'm not ready to be? Success requires evolution, and evolution requires letting go of your familiar self. 2, comfort zone versus expansion zone. Whew, let's get into this, people. Failure. Fears keep you in a controlled zone. Success fear keep you circling the expansion zone. Control versus expansion. It keeps you circling, never growing, never progressing, never fully stepping into progress. The difference between the two is not starting versus not finishing. External versus internal pressure. Fear of failure is driven by external judgment. Fear of success is driven by internal expectations. Failure asks, what will they think of me? Success asks, what will be required of me? If you know my sessions, you will know that my conversations is always about mindset shift, changing the way you think. And as we go through this session, you're going to see that this is all about mindset. Fear of success versus fear of failure is all in your mind. That's the power of the mind. Control versus responsibilities. Failure equals loss of control. It's in the mind. Success equals increased responsibilities, all in the mind. And sometimes people are not afraid of responsibilities. Well, here's a fact. Actually, some people are more afraid of responsibilities than they are of loss. And that's the unfortunate fact, because you cannot expect to be successful. You cannot expect for things to grow in your life without equal or even greater responsibilities that comes with it. But there's a lot of people truly fear those responsibilities, and most of the time they fear it because they're concerned, will I measure up? Will I be able to rise to the occasion? Will I be able to handle it? And whether they know it or not, the answer is you will. In time, you will. Because what we do as humans is we grow. We grow, we develop in time. Let's keep going. Behavioral manifestation in real life. Let me make this real as possible for real people, because we live in the real world. Let me give you scenarios. Scenario number 1, the career leap. Fear of failure this is scenarios. A fear of failure scenario will be, won't apply for a promotion, although you could. A fear of success, the contrast, apply for that promotion, but underperform. Intentionally withdraw, which is equal to self-sabotaging yourself. Scenario number 2, financial growth. Fear of failure doesn't invest versus fear of success. You earn more, but you spend more, and you mismanage what you have in order to stay comfortable. Because oftentimes people are at a level that if they at a level in life and they're, 1, comfortable, and 2, more important than that comfortability, is they feel like they're stable. They rather stay in that place than move any direction, whether go up or go down. They like the comfort of that stability. And the comfort of that stability holds them right in place. Not good. Scenario number 3. So I just went to career, finance, now relationships. Fear of failure but just say avoid love altogether. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want my heart broken. Fear of success. You find love, then you sabotage it. You sabotage it when it becomes real, when it starts to feel like it's growing. Once again, self-sabotage is rearing its ugly head. The key insight for these scenarios is fear of failure keeps you from the door, whereas fear of success keeps you from walking through the door. Come on, people. Come on, people. Because there's no one can say at some point in their life they didn't have the two or both at the same time. Fear of failure, I like that. Fear of failure or fear of success. And when you have that in your mind and you have it in your consciousness, it affects you. It affects your decisions, your actions, your behavior. It affects everything. This is why you have to have a clear mind and you have to get focused and you have to start executing things with sound mind and judgment. Because whether you like it or not, the mind is a powerful thing and it will start playing tricks on you if you let it. So we want to go to a transformation and alignment. That's what we need to get. So how do we overcome both of these two, what we call dichotomies? Fear of failure versus fear of success. Well, here's some tips and some tools on how we can get over these things, get past them. So now we can get laser focused and start to get things done, okay, in our lives. The first one is awareness. Whatever is going on in your life and whatever you're doing, especially if you fall victim to self-sabotage yourself, you have to first start to be aware of it, because awareness is power. You have to name that fear and name it correctly. You can't heal what you misidentify. Excuse me. Excuse me. As I mentioned, my throat is dry today. This is the drawback of talking so much. So let's keep going. You also want to redefine success. You know, you got to take success in bite sizes where you're not at a point where you just get overwhelmed with it, because anyone can get overwhelmed with success as you start moving up and start to feel inadequate. I have a thing that I talk about and I'll have a session on it at some point. And so many people are victims of it. And it's all really a mindset. It's a consciousness thing. And it's called embarrassment of riches. And there's several nuances to that term. But one is when people start to believe in their own minds that they are not as good as their successes. They are more successful than they should be. That's when the self-sabotage really starts. I've seen it so many times. I witnessed it so many times. I try to help people avoid that so many times. But that's for another session. So redefine success. Success is not pressure. It's actually alignment. So you have to build capacity, not just confidence. Because confidence will get you started, but capacity sustains you at a higher level as you grow and as you evolve. And that brings us to the fourth one, which is very important, and that is grace, because you're going to give yourself permission to evolve. You're going to give yourself permission to grow. People think that things just happen automatically, and it doesn't. You have to constantly have conversation with yourself. You have to commune with yourself. Have you ever had an out-of-body experience where you were actually walking, but you didn't feel like you were walking with yourself? You're moving, but you're not going anywhere. You have to get in alignment. Your mind, your spirit, your soul have to all be on the same page, or things will not fall into place. This is part of growing in your evolution. You are not meant to stay the same, to remain the same, to be the same person forever. You are meant to grow, because growth requires identity expansion. So if someone say to you, I noticed you changed, the response is, thank you. Thank you for noticing. Because that's exactly what's supposed to happen. You are supposed to change. You are supposed to evolve. You are supposed to grow. You are supposed to learn. That's part of the evolution of life, of your life. Exactly what's supposed to happen. So as you grow, there's going to be external and internal discomfort. No way to avoid that. So now you have to normalize discomfort. Because discomfort is not danger. It's actually self-evidence of transformation. You're growing, people. You're growing. And it's a good thing. Don't let someone make you feel like it's not a good thing. Because everybody's not growing at the same pace. So your evolution and your growth is not someone else's. So when you're here, they may still be there. And nothing's going to change that. The only thing that could change that is for you to stop growing, to regress and go back to where they're at. And we're not doing that. That's not what we're doing. So there is a quiet truth that lives within us all. We say things like, we say we want more. We want to do more. I want to be successful. I want to do this. I want to do that. More growth, more success, more abundance. But what we often do not realize is that more requires more of us. You want more, you have to do more. More discipline, more courage, and yes, more responsibilities. Because sometimes we are not necessarily afraid of failing. We are afraid of becoming. Because becoming asks us to release who we once were and step into someone who we've never been before. A new version of ourselves. So hear me clearly when I say this. You were never meant to remain where you are or where you were. You were born to stretch, to expand, to rise, to reach. You were born to grow. Get a chance, you can check out the one YouTube channel designed to do that. So whether you fear failure or whether you fear success, you have to understand it's both are illusion that you've been preparing for all along. Fact of the matter. So let's have a reflective moment, as we often do. Let's take a moment to pause and think about this. Where in your life are you holding back? And more importantly, why? These are self-reflecting questions. So these are questions that you have to, more or less introspective, that you have to ask yourself. No respect to person, because we all have done it is doing it at some point in our life. There are many people who may be standing at the same edge right now, engulfed in uncertainties, but full of capabilities. But sometimes the breakthrough that we seek is simple. It's simply the courage to take one step forward beyond where we're currently standing. Tonight, we're talking about fear of success versus fear of failure. This is the second part, which is breaking the invisible ceiling within. People, this is all about mindset. So when someone say, I didn't make it because I can't do it because I can't because they didn't get, no, this is not about external. It's not about anyone else. It's about you. It's about the things that you do, that we do to hold ourselves back. And it starts with the mindset. Oftentimes starts with the mindset. Because there is a level of life that many people approach, but very few can fully step into. Not because they lack the talent, not because they lack the opportunity, but because somewhere along the way, they've learned how to survive at one level, at that stability level, at that comfort level. And they never learn how to live at the next level. So what happens when you learn how to stay at one level? You start to what they call hover. You start to be in this state of I almost became. I almost arrived. I almost done it. I had a good chance of being. But something always pulls you back. But today we're going to go deeper into this reality, into this state. Beyond the fear, beyond the hesitation, into the invisible ceiling we place on ourselves, and how to finally break through and break free. Let's get into it. It all starts with the subconscious programming behind fear. Remember, people, everything is about mindset. You can talk yourself into many things, and you can talk yourself out of many things. The mind remembers what you survived. Your subconscious mind is not focused on your future. It's not. It's focused on your familiar, what you're comfortable with. If you grew up in an environment where success brought pressure, visibility brought criticism, growth created separation, then your mind learned something profound and powerful. What it learned was staying where I am keeps me safe. Keeps me safe, keeps me comfortable. Because fear of failure equals protection from pain. Whereas fear of success equals protection from change. Come on, people. Are you with me? Stay with me, people. This is a powerful message here. Development of the mind, battlefields of the mind. Because failure says things like, I don't want to feel hurt again. Whereas success say, I don't want to lose what I know, even if it's limiting me, even if it's holding me back. To grow out of this mindset, you first, as I mentioned before, it's gonna have to be a level of an awareness. You're gonna have to know that you're doing this. You're gonna have to become conscious about what's happening. And you're gonna have to now check your internal thermostat. Come on, people. We're going to the next level mentally. Because every person has an internal set point. An internal set point for their income, for achievement, for happiness, for visibility, for growth, for development, for all those things. There's a set point. And when you rise above that set point, your consciousness subconsciously start to pull you back. Not out of weakness, but simply out of conditioning. You're in a position you've never been before. You're in the circumstances you've never been before. You're in new waters. This is why people who earn more often starts to overspend. Because you're not ready to handle that level. You get a new opportunity, and then you start these actions and behavior that start to become self-sabotaging. You start to feel yourself growing, and oftentimes the people around you are not growing at the same rate because we're all individual. So for their comfort, you start to retreat. You start to pump the brakes on your own growth for the sake of others. No respect to person. We're only human. And if you're not aware of this, at some point you'll realize that you've done it without even knowing. So let's start to identify that ceiling that we are imposing on ourselves. Let's start to identify those self-sabotaging habits that we are imposing on ourselves. How to identify the ceilings. You don't rise to your goals. You fall back to your identity. Fact of the matter. If your identity say, I'm just getting by. People like me, but people like me, they don't reach that level. That things like that don't happen to people like me. You know, I have a great idea, but I never seen it done before. Then success and natural growth and success is going to feel unnatural to you. Because your identity and your mindset is not allowing you to expand and to grow. So it's going to pull you back, mindset-wise, to what you're familiar with, to where you feel comfortable. Whereas growth requires breaking out of what you're comfortable with. So therefore, the self-sabotaging returns. And self-sabotaging is really not random. Self-sabotaging is very strategic, whether you know it or not, even if it's subconscious and you really do not know, because it shows up as delaying important decisions, overthinking simple opportunities, distracting yourself at critical moments when you need to be focused, and quitting when momentum starts to build and when things start to happen. That's when you quit. In my last session, I talked about people quitting right before their breakthrough. One step away from breakthrough, and they quit. Do you know how many people that happens to? That happens so often, it's almost commonplace. Why? We ask. Let's go, people. Let's go. I hope y'all ready. Let's go. Why? Because success requires a new version of you. The old version is not coming. The success that you want is not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be simple. It's going to require a new version, a new circumstances, a new environment. And the old version of you, stay with me, people, listen to this. The old version of you will fight you. It will fight to survive. It will fight to keep you back being the old person that you were. When the success requires you to break out and be a new version of yourself. Most people won't even understand that. What I just said is going to go over a lot of people's head. They won't even understand that. I'm fighting with myself. Oh, I'm not crazy. It has nothing to do with that. This is a battlefield of the mind, the battlefield of the consciousness. This happens internally, whether you know it or not. You're not even involved in this battle. It's happening within you every day. Let's keep going. The loyalty conflict. Woo. Sometimes success feels. Woo. Are you ready for this one? Sometimes success feels like betrayal. Sometimes the new version of yourself, you're growing, you're developing, you're becoming a person that you don't even recognize. And now you start to feel like you're betraying yourself. Because what you used to do, I don't like to do that no more. Where I used to go, I don't like to go there no more. Who I used to be with, I don't want to be with those people no more. That's okay. That's growth. Outgrowing your environment is part of the process. Earning more than your peers is part of the process. Thinking differently than your circle is part of the process. And deep down, you'll have this silent question. If I become more, will I lose my connection with others? And oftentimes, not always, oftentimes the answer is yes. But that shouldn't even be the question. Because if you start asking that question, and in your mind, in your consciousness, you start to be aware that your ascension is creating separation, then instead of rising as you should, you'll shrink. You'll choose to stay connected and relatable. Stay in a station that will hold you back. So how do we grow? We have to break those patterns. Break those patterns. Here's some tips on breaking those patterns. Let's go. We learn it tonight, people. We learn it tonight, people. Come on. This is a session, people. I'm telling you, this is a session, people, that you'll have to pay for. This session that you'll be sitting with your therapist for months, if not years. Battlefield of the mind. That's what we're talking about. Fear of failure versus fear of success. And that battle within what? Within you. Breaking those patterns. Shift from comfort to capacity. Because you have to stop asking, do I feel ready? And you have to start asking, am I willing to grow into it? I often say, there's a saying I have, the best way to get the wrong answer is to ask the wrong question. We don't want to find ourselves asking the wrong questions. Reprogramming, as I mentioned, the internal thermostat. We all have one. You have, raise your normal. So if you were at one level and you were comfortable and you were stable and you had stability, you're going to have to now go to the next level and raise it and keep raising that thermostat to allow yourself to grow. It's not going to always be comfortable. It's not going to always be something, a feeling that you're familiar with. But we're growing. because you have to surround yourself with elevated thinkers. There's an old saying, if you are the smartest person in your circle, you're in the wrong circle. you capped out of your circle. You don't want to be the smart. You don't want to be the person who know everything and everybody around you don't know nothing about whatever you're doing. You're in the wrong circle. Normalize success through exposure, connecting with other people, exposing yourself. That's how great ideas and things are built. Expand what feels possible and allow yourself to grow. Come on, people. We're having Financial Fitness Friday after dark. 3, create a new identity statement, not based on where you've been, but based on where you want to go, where you're going. You know, I always tell people I did so much training and development, professional training and development for people, from young people through college and professionals. And I often say, you can't get ready for an opportunity at the point of the opportunity. You got to be ready. Be ready, get ready, be ready, stay ready. And always carry yourself and operate in a state of where you want to go. Don't have that mindset, well, when I get there, I'm going to. That doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. If when you get there, you're going to get or you're going to do, chances are you're never going to get there. You got to be the person who belongs there. So you have to already be doing it. You have to already have the habit. You have to already have the understanding. You have to already be prepared before you get there. No opportunity is going to wait for you to get prepared. Opportunity is gone. It's going to somebody else. It's done. Finished. I am someone who finished what I started. I am someone who handles growth with grace. I am someone who thrives under expansion. This is what you have to say to yourself. Mindset shift, people. In growth, in development, you have to expect resistance. Resistance is inevitable. Resistance is not a stop sign. At once you hit resistance or hit a wall, it means just stop and give up. No. It's actually confirmation that you are crossing into new territories and that you're growing. You have to detach from the old version of yourself, the old habits you had. You are allowed to outgrow old habits, old thinking, old environment, old acquaintances and people and things and places. Growth is not disloyalty, especially your personal growth and development, because it's about you. It's actually alignment, because you were born to grow. You were born to win. Come on, people, we're going to get through this tonight. So if you start to adopt this mindset, and we're growing and we're developing, we're now going to get to the breakthrough moment. Breakthrough moment. And what does the breakthrough moment look like? Because breakthrough doesn't come when fear disappears. Because in reality, regardless of how successful you are, how far you go, fear may never disappear. Sometimes fear is good, because fear is a natural, innate feeling that can help you. It makes you aware of things. It puts that pause button and make you cautious. So that's a good thing. It's not having it, it's what you do with it. Because at the time, you have to come to realize that fear is simply the doorway to the next version of yourself. What they say, you fear the unknown. And the question is no longer, am I afraid? The question becomes, am I willing to become? To become what? To become what I'm becoming. Very simple. Somebody said, what you doing? I'm becoming what I'm becoming. There is a version of you that already exists. Not in some distant future, but just beyond your current level of belief and understanding. A version of you that moves with certainty, decides with clarity, and live without shrinking. But in order to meet that version of yourself, you're going to have courage, because you must release the version of you that feels safe. The version of you that keeps you small. You're going to have to let go. Let go of the excuses that once protected you. At least you thought. You have to let go of the fear that once defined you. You're going to have to let go of the limits that once contained you. Because success is not something that you need to chase. It's something that you simply become as you become it. And becoming requires, as I mentioned, courage. Not the loud kind, not the bodacious kind, but the quiet kind. The kind that says, I may not feel ready, but I'm no longer willing to stay in the place that I am. Mindset shift, people. Change your mind. Change your mind. So here's a meaningful message moment, a moment of reflecting. Something that you need to say to yourself. Each and every day, we got to encourage ourselves. You know how you may spend some time talking to someone and you may encourage them. But just like you will encourage someone, especially a loved one or a family member or a parent or a child or whatever have you, you have to do the same for yourself. You have to encourage yourself. You have to say to yourself, I deserve this. I deserve greater. I'm ready. I'm ready for the challenge. Why? Because you're not stuck. You're not limited. And you're not behind. You are simply standing at the edge of your next level. You're on the verge. And the only thing that is required right now is your decision to step forward and to move forward. So you have to ask yourself, are you ready? Are you ready for that? Because sometimes the only thing standing between us and our next level is the version of ourselves that we simply outgrown, that old version. And we're going to let that go, right? We're going to let that go. So this is Financial Fitness Friday with D.E. Wilder. I am D.E. Wilder. This is Financial Fitness for your future. This is tonight, our discussion is fear of failure versus fear of success. Overcoming that mindset within. Whew. Let's bring it home, people. Let's bring it home. So, as we went to several levels now, in this final level of becoming, executing, and sustaining your next level, are you ready? There's a moment when clarity must meet decision. A moment when you are no longer questioning yourself. What's holding me back? Because now, at this very point, you have done all the self-reflecting and the growth and the development. So now you have understanding. You've identified those fears. You face the invisible ceiling. And now there's only one thing left to do. Make the decision, execute, and move. Excuse me. I'm dropping it on you, people. I'm dropping it. Why? Because awareness without action is simply another form of delay. Today we step into, now we're executing. We're moving into discipline, into the version of you that no longer negotiate and entertain fear. You're going to need the discipline of execution, because clarity is important, but clarity is not enough. Most people don't fall because they lack clarity. They fail because they lack consistent execution. Think about it. I will act even when I don't feel like it. It's a mindset. I will move even when it feels uncomfortable and unfamiliar with me. You have to move beyond the emotional trap, because your feelings are temporary. Feelings go up and down. We're human beings. But discipline is internal. Discipline mindset, moving with intention, execute intentionally. That's part of your strategy. That's strategic. If you only act when you feel like you're ready, you will remain in that cycle of hesitation. And it will be a cycle. That cycle of hesitation where you find yourself second guessing your decision, second guessing things. Should I? Could I? Would I? You have to be beyond that. High level individuals operate very differently. In fact, high level individuals have mastered execution, have mastered clarity, have mastered decision making. They don't let things hold them back or hold them down. They look at it, they assess, and then they execute. Either I'm doing it or we don't do it. We go or we stop. They don't wait for motivation. They don't rely on structure. They commit to a process over the emotion of it all. Success is not one big leap. Everyone thinks that they're just going to go from where they're at and leap right into success. Does not work that way. Not at all. Hold on 1 second, people. Does not work that way. Not at all. Success requires a few things. Let me put it this way. Success is a series of small and consistent decisions. Every time that you follow through, every time that you complete a task, every time that you show up intentional, those are all the elements and the tools of your success. You're reinforcing your next level, your new identity. You are being that new version of yourself. You're saying, I am someone who executes. I am someone who completes. I am someone who moves. I am someone who gets things done. Once you are able to do that consistently, now the next level of that is sustaining success and growing without falling back to that self-sabotaging ways. Success introduces new pressures. More money, more problem, people. You're one step into success. When you are growing, expectations increases, visibility increases, responsibilities increases. All of these things grow with you. And here's the truth. Many people are not prepared to maintain what they work so hard to achieve, because that's another level. In fact, that's something they didn't teach you in school. They may have gave you case studies and talked about success, but they didn't teach you all the nuances that you're going to need when you get there to maintain, to grow, and to sustain. That's another lesson. That's a whole nother level. So, we covered a lot tonight. But I just want to leave you guys with this powerful message. My throat is getting really dry. So, now that we are on the road to get into that success that we are looking for, we are living on our next level. We're living on our next level, excuse me. So, as you rise and as you ascend, you don't just rise once. That's not the way success and growth works. You have your actions, your behavior, consistency, and execution have to be on autopilot. Whatever you did to get there, you must live there daily. That means thinking differently, acting differently, deciding differently, not occasionally, but consistently. There comes a time when you realize the life you desire is not waiting for you to become perfect or that perfect moment. It's waiting for you to become consistent, not extraordinary, but every once in a while, you just have to be consistent. You have to be intentional every single day, because success is not a moment. It's a lifestyle. It's a rhythm. It's a standard. It's a way of being. And once you understand that, you stop chasing it and you start living it. So, no more hesitation. No more negotiation with fear. Because the version of you that you once were is gone. Now you are living in your new version. The version that have grown. The version that you're becoming to be. So I hope this conversation resonated with you. If it has shared with someone, because clarity has been given and understanding has been revealed. And we're at that level now. Now we're past that and it's time to execute. So share this with someone who's ready to move with intention and to move with awareness. Let them know that what they're trying to do and who they're becoming is just right in front of them. It's time to execute, because success doesn't belong to those who just understand it. You study it, case study. Success belongs to those who live it. If this message made a difference to you, please share it with anyone and someone who needs to hear it. Important, stay rooted, stay blessed. Keep living your life with kindness, clarity, and purpose. I am D. Wilder. This is Financial Fitness Friday, focusing on financial fitness for the future. And I bid you, and I bid you peace and blessings. Oh, people, it was rough for me. I was screaming at kids all day. Thank you for sharing this moment. I hope that helped someone. I hope that it enlightened someone and had that aha moment to say, that sounds like me. I've been doing that. That's a good idea. Let me try that. If that happened, my job is done. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. I hope that you have a blessed weekend and stay focused. Peace and blessings.
That music was deliberate.
It's saying I'm at a new level.
Oh, so you think that?
I could think of personally.
Huh?
I could think of personally.
Okay.
Yeah, at the end, it'll show her name come up, and then I'll send her thank you.
Okay.
Whew. That was a lot.
So how do you do that? Like, how do you it'll show who joined?
She gave a gift, so she's a gifter.
Okay.
Oh, I guess she gave her one of those whatever they give, 1 cent or whatever. So if you're a gifter, then I could say thanks to her. So I'll say thank you.
She was there the last time.
Oh, same person?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Live session.
And I think Bruce joined.
Get out of here.
Nope.
No way.
Because when you first
No way.
Huh?
No way.
Yep.
No way. Why would you think that?
Because when the session started, the name came up.
What name?
It said Malik. It wasn't Malik. It said Malik, and then it was like Morris. And then the person quickly he went on, and he went off quickly.
Wow.
And then another profile came up like M Malik or something like that, but it was with a K.
Wow.
And then another person came on with another name and a last name Morris. Mm-hmm. All back to back.
That's crazy.
So, yes. It was like quickly the person was like, you know how you scroll through? It wasn't like they were looking for you. They was like on TikTok and was scrolling through and saw you, and they just, yeah. Mm-hmm. How many people joined? That was a great message. Deep, powerful.
233.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta work on shortening. I just gotta get the timing right. When I'm preparing it always seems like it's not enough, and then when I'm actually doing it.
Yeah, when I type his name, Malik Morris comes up. But I'm not gonna hit.
Well, you could because he won't know you. Or you could do it from your dummy account. But let it be. You know, God is going to bring it all full circle. If they mean something positive, it's good. If they mean something negative, we'll see. God is going to handle it.
Because obviously, as you're on, I'm watching who's coming through.
Mm-hmm. As you should.
That was a great message. I don't know if you could shorten that.
I don't know neither. That's why I said when I'm preparing it.
And it was like what was it called?
When I'm preparing it, it's
no, that was not just prepared. It was more like it was coming from your. There's no way you could shorten that.
Yeah.
But
But that's why I'm ready for another format, because we need to put this in another format where it's coming off and these points are coming, or maybe like I said, with things are coming up on the screen and we're going through. It's almost like this masterclass session. In fact, that's a good point. I need to look at one of those masterclasses and see how they set the format up. Because I saw a couple of them and it wasn't good at all. I saw had one because it made it to YouTube. What's the supermodel name? Naomi Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
She had a master class, and it was kind of. I understand what she was trying to do. She told me from her perspective, but it was suck. She was sitting on a chair. So I just gotta find my format.
Mm-hmm.
My message and everything is great. I just gotta find the right format, and if I find the right format, it's gonna shoot.
But when you say format, now you're talking about the platform.
No, we got the platform. It could be on any platform,
Okay.
but it's like I don't know. I will figure it out. I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm tired. I'm not overthinking.
I'm looking forward to posting that on Instagram.
Well, let it go to the fucking list. This is now 21 messages that I have yet to edit. And I spent over a week on one.
And you lost it.
No, that one, I redone that one, so that one's gone. But every once in a while, we're having a connection issue here. And what happens when you have that connection, it goes from HD, high quality, or 4K to lower quality.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever it's shifting that quality, when you get to like the CapCut thing, it starts to break between the voice and your mouth in the sync. And so that's fucking me up on the back end when I'm editing, because now it's out of sync. So that whole section that's out of sync, I have to like eliminate. Now, if I just did audio, then it's all there. Like I'm in YouTube now. But it's like, I don't know. We're going to have to figure out something. We're at a point where it's not totally working the way I need it to work.
You need some more dynamic.
Yes.